to do here, Greg, because again, it goes back to your story of truck in a toolbox, right? Our first conversation, I don't know, seemingly 2 years ago, maybe even 2.5. And that is under the context of, well, you know what? We're coming up on another year in. Lots of people are going to talk about New Year's resolution. A lot of those resolutions are either going to be about losing weight or making more money. So we're going to talk about the making more money. I have some ideas, but I thought I would ask you, the expert, the entrepreneur, if you're sitting here, you have a W-2, you have a job, and your desire is to make more money, what are some things you might tell someone?
Yeah. And, let's do a bonus episode today on, like what we talked about, goals versus plan, the whole resolution thing and all that, because resolutions are worthless. So, let's do one on what is actually real that people can put to work and change their lives or their situation. But, going back to what you said, how can people make more money? Number one is you got to educate yourself, right? There's a lot of ways you can make money.
Mm-hmm.
You can invest in stocks, you can invest in crypto, you can invest in real estate, you can start a business, a lot of different ways to make money, but none of those will make you money. The only thing that's going to make you money is the information that you have, the education. So you have to get the education first. You have to learn something. If you want more money, then you have to develop more skills. You have to develop more knowledge. We live in a knowledge-based economy now, an expert-based economy, and the highest paying jobs oftentimes are skill, type positions. So number one, you got to develop those skills to earn more money. And then you got to look at, okay, is it a business? There's a couple of ways to earn more money in business. You either become more profitable, you add more customers, or you become more profitable per customer. If you're talking about at your job, you need to increase your income. And the way you do that, there's never been a better time to ask for a raise than right now. But the key is where people often make mistakes asking for raises is they come and say, hey, I've been here a year. I think I deserve a raise.
Yeah.
And then my response to that is always, well, what are you doing today differently than you did the day you were hired 1 year ago? Is there any increase in value to the company that justifies your income increase? Now, again, today's very different because most companies are struggling for good employees. And if you're a good employee, meaning you're the first one in, last one out, nobody has to ever follow up on you, ask you for things. You're adding value to the company, to your boss, to all of the other people around you. And that's extremely important. If nobody has to follow up on you, if you're the person that people know, hey, when I talk to Michael, it's done. I don't even have to think about it. That's a rare quality these days. Mm-hmm. Very difficult to find people you do not have to follow up on, that you do not have to check up on, things like that. So you want to be the person that everybody knows you will get it done. When something is assigned to you, and more importantly, it shouldn't even have to be assigned to you. Take the initiative and say, hey, this needs to be done. I'm just going to do it. Or here's a way that we can increase revenue. So if you're an employee, instead of going to your boss and say, hey, I've been here a year, I've been here 5 years, whatever, go to your employer and say, hey, here's how I can increase revenue and profit for the company. Mm-hmm. And in exchange for that, I would like to share. And here's how I think that would be a fair exchange for both of us. I'd like an increase in salary here, and then I'd like a percentage of what I can bring to the bottom line. Every company's different. Every situation's different. So if you're in human resources, your metrics are going to be a little bit different. That's not necessarily a revenue center. Although if you retain employees in a large company in human resources, you're saving the company money from training and that expense and things. So in every department, there's a way that you can become more entrepreneurial, where you can add to the bottom line or add to the top line, which should increase the bottom line. So think in terms of, number one, increase your skill sets, increase the value that you can bring, and then be the dependable type of person that nobody has to follow up on. Nobody has to ask really, for. You take the initiative and get things done, whether it's business, whether it's a job or whatever. That's how you increase your income.
Yeah. When I think about this question, because again, I'm going to get a lot, I kind of see three things. One is most people watching this are employees today. So you're right. I was a hiring manager for the last, 12 years of my career. And today is the best time if you want to get a raise. And everything you said is right on. The other thing I want to remind you is most of the time, the company you are at, they're going to give you 3, 4, 5% if they want to keep you. That doesn't really help you when inflation is 10, as I've calculated. The reality is you will make the most money. You will see the biggest jump if you change employers. You have a set of skill set and experience. I guarantee you in this super, super tight labor market, you will get a much bigger raise, a much bigger kick if you are being uncomfortable and going somewhere else. It's just the realities of where we are today. It will not always be this way. But that is something that is a fact today. So that's for the people that have
or at
W-2s.
least know what that offer is, so that when you talk to your employer, you can say, look, I'd love to stay, but this is what they're offering over here, plus growth.
Yep.
And then your employer can, look to match that, or just say, look, we just can't do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then I want to talk about side hustles, because this is something that was important. This is something that I have now done several different times after I quit, but I think more people should do it. What I have found is it has never been a better time, Greg, to find your passion, your hobby, your interest, something you've already been doing for a decade, and try to monetize it while you're working, right? So again, it's something that you should enjoy doing. It's not extra. It should be a good time for you. So what I challenge people, I did a 45-day challenge where step one is make more money. What I want you to do is document whatever your hobby or interest is. Use cars, painting, whatever it is, making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I don't care. That's step one. Step two, I want you to go find 3 social media influencers doing that today. Because one of the things you will see today in social media is there's lots of niches. There's riches in the niches. So go find 3 people that are already doing that or something similar and figure out what they are doing. And then go do that. And again, this is something you should do while you are working. So again, you could build up your side hustle. And again, some of you, your life changes with an extra $500 a month. Might as well make that with something you are truly passionate about, something you're having fun with. Because the first year, Greg, is hard. After that, it kind of grows on itself, but the first year is hard. So that's something I'm challenging people with. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a course on that, how to start a, online entrepreneurship course, teaching you how to start a virtual business. And it can be, like you said, it could be a hobby. It could be a passion. It could be a skill. Again, number one, you need to develop a skill. And number two, what's the problem you're solving? And then look at that, what you're talking about, the hobby niche out there. I mean, people pay for all kinds of different things in terms of, information on, gardening, cooking, puzzles. I mean, all kinds of different hobbies that you're good at, scuba diving, whatever it is. People are looking for information and products.
Yep.
So there's a couple of ways you can do it. One is you can, sell information in terms of, how to be better at, or how to do something different, or, whatever it is. And then there's the products where you can become, like you're talking about, an influencer. You can create a social media channel where, you sell products that other people make, or you combine things and create a product and go out there. And I'll tell you, one of the neatest resources for people to look at in terms of, ways that you can make a lot of money on side hustles. One of them is CNBC has a series called Make It. CNBC Make It. Yeah. So if you check that out, there's stories about people all over the world that have done exactly that, taking hobbies and doing different things about it. If you're a writer, you can write, do copywriting and write ads, email campaigns. You can be a freelance, journalist and, go do articles for different publications, online, offline, publications. You could be a freelance photographer. You can do website, you can build websites, graphic design, editing, video editing, podcast guest. I mean, you can make money just booking people on podcasts, things like that. You talk about an extra $500 a month, you can make an extra $5,000 to $10,000 a month part-time while you still have a full-time job with benefits doing these things that I'm talking about. The hobby gig is a little different. Depending on what that hobby is and how valuable that skill that you have is in the marketplace, and the other products that you can, sell around it. But there's people out there that are, making $10,000 to, $100,000 a month doing the hobby, business thing. It becomes more full-time, obviously, the more you grow.
Sure.
But from a side hustle standpoint, you can easily bring in $1,000 to $10,000 a month virtually without having to leave your house doing those types of things.
Yeah. Again, I think it's never been a better time to monetize your particular hobby. And again, the step one of my challenge, and again, if you watch the video, it came out on Sunday, yesterday, find 3 influencers that are interested in your niche and copy them. It is really that simple. Greg, you have a great online presence. You obviously have this course. Where can people find it?
Yeah, gregdickerson.com, my YouTube channel, podcast, everything is there. All my courses, gregdickerson.com.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.